Day 175 of Interdimensional Exile. I was going to speak today about our view towards villainy and ambition and other subjects of that matter, but Dr. Lunenberg says that she wants to save it for a potential video essay that is fully edited down the line, or at least edited to the best of our ability and budget. So, I have decided that we shall be talking about the Mad Scientist Monthly Meetup and Barbecue, which is an organization we are a part of. It doesn't really do that much outside of Meetup and discuss various plans for what have you. Either a new invention you've made, scientific discoveries you have spearheaded, conquests of worlds, or otherwise insane, scientifically minded plans. We miss it every day. Thankfully, there is a local board game club we are a part of, but you can understand how it's not quite the same. I believe the head of that organization is Dr. Isabella Octavius. Though we may be confusing her last name with that of the comic book character from Marvel Comics. In any case, there are a variety of good, reasonable mad scientists there. Well, reasonable by mad scientist standards, anyhow. Of course, our own contribution to discussions could be repetitive. Namely, we would always go for the same tactic, more or less, if we weren't doing something like humiliating a god or just defying the laws of nature. What few remain. Apologies. Namely, P.E.A.C.E. P.E.A.C.E. is an acronym. It stands for Philosophical Enhancer Altering Cerebral Enzymes. Now, you may be thinking that sounds like mind control. And it's not quite mind control. It's more of... The human mind is capable of creating great mental barriers, and some of the most reinforced are mental barriers concerning authority. The proverbial cop inside your head that the anarchists say to kill inside of you. We suppose the goal of peace is to kill that cop inside of your head. It's a metaphor, not literal, just to be clear. And it's, at least that's the argument Dr. Lunenberg said after Dr. Lunenberg gave after I attempted to dissuade her from calling the damn things cop killers. It gives the wrong idea, is what we are getting at. She relented mostly because she liked having the slogan, "Give peace a chance." So how does peace work? Well, it's very simple. First, the Earth will notice a blanket of clouds enveloping the planet. They'll find it remarkable that the entire planet has been clouded under it, but perhaps most parts of the world will not question it, especially places where it's already intensely cloudy. Then the lightning starts. The lightning is colored purple, because what are we if not on brand, I suppose. Apologies. The lightning bolts would be aimed at civilians, though the bolt is non lethal. It instead chemically alters the brain in a way that it takes down those mental defenses against anti-authoritarianism, I suppose. We suppose. I need to get better about using we us pronouns. I'm the only alter who hasn't gotten. It's fine. In any case, it should provide no physical harm and no other lasting mental side effects. We should know we vigorously tested it in order to make sure that no living creature got hurt. We even tested it on ourselves, mainly because we wanted to get rid of those barriers ourselves. Not that we really needed it, but it's very nice to have fewer intrusive thoughts. It can't do much more than that, unfortunately, because we want it to be done for a very specific purpose. Yes, this lightning bolt would envelop the planet. Well, lightning bolts. How the clouds would work is that they would not actually be clouds. Instead, they're peace drones. They're small robotic drones flying through the sky, enveloping a cloud, a dark cloud, as an illusion and a way to keep the world off track. They'll be viewing it as a weather phenomenon rather than. We used to be able to spell this off like anything. Where were we? Right. They disguise as clouds so that the world thinks it's a weather phenomena rather than something mechanical. And of course, the drones have been fitted against a variety of threats. Everything from waterproofing to force fields to kryptonite has been fitted onto those things. And the kryptonite was a bitch to get. Pardon our language. Apologies, that is very unprofessional. We've simply been under a lot of stress today because we have gotten a severe lack of sleep due to an excess of lights in our area. Light pollution is such a plague upon the sky. We've always preferred a cloudy day ourselves. That's a large part of the reason that peace takes the form of a thunderstorm. There are few things more comforting to us than a cloudy sky, the sun nowhere in sight, just the faintest hint of light bleeding through, just enough to be able to see without much issue, to hear the thunder in the background. As long as we're outside, we'd prefer it not to rain, but if we can be inside, we can enjoy the pitter-patter of rain upon our windowsill as we watch the autumn leaves fall and cozy up by the campfire with a cup of hot chocolate in our grasp. Apologies, we're getting off topic. The point is, peace is remarkably effective. It sees success in 97.3% of cases with a sample size of over 100,000. 100,000 may sound like a lot, but when dealing with an infinite universe, infinite multiverse, and the main focus groups being various versions of Earth, Could we do peace on this world without much issue? Possibly not, but possibly so. However, this world, your world, most likely, those of you watching this, it's ours. And to use peace would be something akin to not letting our world fight its own battles, in a sense. It's one thing when it's some alternate version of Earth. It's another thing when it's a place we used to call home. Of course, now it feels more like an isolated island in the middle of the Pacific. Middle. Middle. Our pronunciation has gone downhill. What is happening? In any case, we'd bring that up at the barbecues. The barbecues were all impossible meat, far too many vegetarians at those meetings. In order to use the actual corpses. Since becoming homeless again, we've started eating actual meat again, mostly because of its accessibility and the fact that one should not be picky when struggling with food resources. In brighter news, we have gotten a new prescription that we've desperately needed. So that's that's a plus, we suppose. We miss those meetings. We miss them so much. We miss doctors. We miss doctors Octavius, Fleetwood, Dr. Cryogen, Dr. Damn it, what was his name? He was a geologist. Dr. Isosceles? No, that's two on the nose, even for this group. We said geologist instead of. We said geologist as if it was a form of geometry mathematician. We were talking about mathematician. Dr. Tungsten is the mad geologist. Apologies. We've just been under a lot of pressure lately. In any case, I suppose I've had enough for now. We've had enough for now. How am I not used to it after 1,000 Thank you all for watching our midnight feature presentation. And while this presentation may be over, remember it's always midnight somewhere. On some planets, or what the hell is that catchphrase even supposed to be?